To see Magdalena mixed bag world news. First, remember that Mercury retrogrades still, so be careful with transportation, electronic device, communication, and misunderstanding and miscommunication. So
Speaking in the sense of what might cause me to stay,
yes.
if I were in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Say there were a family emergency and I had a family member in the hospital that was set to undergo some serious surgery, but the flood was coming and the person could not be moved and someone had to stay by them.
Why they could not be moved?
Well, either the surgeon is not yet arrived or...
Why should not be arrived?
Why not arrived?
Mm-hmm.
For any number of reasons. Generally, I think, well, I don't know what the situation in specifically might be, but generally for some surgeries, there is not a doctor on hand in the hospital who can perform that particular surgery, so they have to farm out a request to another hospital or to a clinic. It would just be based on the necessity for having to stand by a family member or a situation that would keep me from evacuating.
But I'm sure there are always in each hospital a surgeon who is capable to address, at least to prepare somebody before the surgeon arrives.
Yeah.
No?
Well, my point being is that it's difficult in a time of emergency, especially in say a metaphorical situation like New Orleans, where everybody was at the last minute, more or less, just a few days before, said, well, we're going to have to evacuate. And if someone, for example, in a hospital is in a life-threatening situation and cannot be moved, and yet the flood is coming and that may be a threat to the hospital, then that puts a lot of stress not only on the person who is undergoing the treatment or surgery, but also on the family members who either have to decide whether they are going to evacuate the city and leave their person, their friend, family member, wife, spouse, whatever.
So what would you feel if you were in this situation, that you have somebody you love who is in a threatening situation?
Well, I would stay with them. I might send my son away and tell him to take the cats with him, but I would stay.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, my family was in Houston, and they did not know that Hurricane Rita was going to pass them by the way it did. Two of my siblings left, and I chewed my sister out because she left the cat behind. But my other brother stayed behind because his neighbor, well, not even a family member, but his neighbor was disabled and couldn't be moved. So, I do have a little bit of direct experience of this. So. I just think it's kind of part of the human spirit. Mm-hmm. They don't leave loved ones behind.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Horrific. And you feel it to the depths of your soul, obviously, that as you're there.
Do you make nightmares? Do you remember 2-3 days later?
I think many people do. And we have, in our response, is we bring people that have served in the area, and when they come back to our local chapter, we provide them with mental health counseling and services in order to try to make sure that they can, they've gone through a trauma. Mm-hmm. When they come back here locally, we try to help them and assist them through that. Because it's quite disturbing.
I took 2 of your class, and I heard that, and I think that's beautiful, and it's very important. And what I heard about the Red Cross, they say that people who go, they go because they care, and then after they are changed, and they are never the same person. When they've seen pain and suffering to a certain extent, something die in them, and something resurrect, but they are never the same person. You know. Need to think about that, because LA could be hit by 7 point something earthquake, what will happen to the Latino community, what will happen to the poor community, and can we say we should raise some money to have a place where everybody, without distinction of money, no identification, any person, anybody should go and be able to access to those, you say a kit?
Certainly.
So can we try to think about to make that accessible? And I'm thinking to downtown, you know, because there is a great community, Latino community. Some people also who are from the African American community who are the people who brought the richness to the South America, because the truth, you know, California will not be California and will not be rich the way it is if there was not all this Latino community who work for very little money, and the African American who have been through we know what. So perhaps we can give back by organizing something that everybody can access to those kids and feel that everybody is going back. Nobody is embarrassed. People will see me going there. So everybody goes, we say such a date, it's a national event, everybody is going to meet everybody with no distinction of race, color, religion, sex, third sex, whatever. Everybody goes and pick up their kit. Can we imagine something like that?
I think there's many organizations that would like to assist in that effort, you know, to get people prepared, to make sure that they have items, and that they've thought through the ramifications of having a disaster.
But could we have a park in Los Angeles or Santa Monica that we could have an access for one day, like from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., and then, for example, the Red Cross bring those kits, and we have some musicians and so forth, and poets and so forth, and it will be and some magician and computer doctor and historian, and have some, you know, make it a fun event where everybody can get their kit, because I'm sure there are people who cannot even buy a kit. Make sense?
Certainly.
So
that would be one of the challenges. It's making sure everyone has a kit, and for those who have a kit, often throughout the time that they have that kit, they may eat something out of that kit or drink something out of that kit because they don't have enough in their everyday and normal lives. The whole issue of where we are now to rebuild New Orleans. Do we do it in a way that those citizens from New Orleans can be a part of it? Can they have some of the economic gain from the rebuilding of New Orleans? The policemen and the firemen.
yes.
Age. News of the massive earthquake off the coast of Sumatra, measuring 8.9 on the Richter scale, first reached the Salvation Army's international headquarters on Bach. At least 150,000 people are confirmed. As young people might account for, the Salvationists did not escape damage, however. And homes owned by members of the Corps in Galwood is one of the most important industries and communities on the shores of the Indian Ocean. Don Paul is a fisherman. He was away when the tsunami hit his village. On his return, he found that his mother, wife, and mother-in-law had been lost to the sea. His daughter, Anbusri, the eldest of the 3 children, saved her 9-year-old sister, Kanamoli, and brother, Selvin, who is 5, by carrying them both across her shoulders as she ran to the safety of her neighbor's house. Achieved, but there remains a huge job to be done.
I was a conceptual designer at the time for the Little Buddha, Bernardo Bertolucci movie, and so we want to understand better the Buddhism at that time for making a movie more appropriate. And so we had a Buddhist maestro, and we were taking 1 hour break during the preparation of the movie to do meditation. And I remember also that through that meditation, the product, usually that was happening during lunchtime, how the afternoon was a much better, was giving us a better result. And,
a children's show? What's the story is about?
All right, let's start over.
Okay.
It's about dragons.
Dragons? Do you believe in dragons?
Depends on what you mean believe.
Metaphorically, do you believe in dragons?
Yes, metaphorically.
Beautiful.
In real world, no, but metaphorically.
But you never know.
That success is a series of steps, and that partial success is the way to get any place. You don't learn how to ride a bike instantly. You don't learn how to do anything in one day.
You know, international celebrity, national celebrity.
Yes, but
that old man river. That old man river, he just keeps rolling along.
Very good.
Yeah.
So what is your name? Welcome to Magdalena Mixed Bag TV show.
Thank you. That's,